Alrighty, Gavin. Well, welcome everybody. There's no good way to start, I think, unless we have I would like a cool little song that someone could make. Maybe I could look into that. Or I'm on my own.
I've got an idea for a beat. All right.
Yeah.
So first you go, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, the do 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 do. Is that what you're thinking? Like the Mario thing?
No. But then you go, da-da-da-da-da.
And
There
I'm
you go.
filling it with
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Is it the Rocky one?
No,
What's
it's supposed to be Darude Sandstorm.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm terrible. Yeah, so Gavin, what you been up to first of all?
Just new job. Although I just bought, was it last night or the night before? Division 2.
Ooh.
So I've been playing that.
Yeah, awesome. I'm watching it. I'm just watching
Yeah.
everyone talk about it. I feel like a lot of people are already going to Endgame, but at least they're building, and we talked about it last week, but like, I think even in the tagline, it was like, you won't believe what happens in Endgame. Like, that's what they're putting in the cover of the game. So I'm like, okay, they're really, yeah. It doesn't even start till Endgame. Like, it was something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like, don't even bother playing until Endgame.
Don't even play until Endgame. You need to pay some basement dweller
Yeah.
in California to play all the way to Endgame.
Oh, that's cool. Have you played it yet, or you've just bought it?
I played a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are your early impressions?
I think it's fun. I didn't realize how much of an RPG it really is. Like, I definitely don't feel like I'm aiming that hard.
Gotcha.
Like, the bullet registration is pretty generous.
Gotcha.
But it's good.
Is it player PvP, or is it just you're fighting the enemies in the like the whatever the AI in the game?
It depends. Like, unless you opt in, like, it's largely just PvE, and then you can bring people in, or you can go into other people's games, which is what I've been doing. But you can sort of go into, I haven't done it yet, but the Dark Zone where it's PvE.
Is that what it is? I never got that far in the first one to see the Dark Zone. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, I hear the Dark Zone's way not as hard. Yeah. So.
That's cool.
Yeah. What have you been playing? What have you been up
Zelda.
to? Zelda?
Been Zelda-ing and up.
Still hating it?
No, I just recently started loving life, but before I was like wanting to kill myself because I want to, get into that game so hard, but I just kept dying over and over and over again. It was very frustrating. But yeah, just recently kind of turned the corner and like now stuff is clicking. I get what they want me to do, and it feels great. Now all I want to do is play that game. Like I was sick on Thursday, and stayed home and was just deep into it. So
well, it's not going to get any better once you finally start liking. It's like, well.
Yeah, I just started liking it though. So for them to just like fuck me again, I can't handle that.
Have you started upgrading your armor yet?
I just figured out I didn't know how to do that, and so.
Oh, did you not stumble upon the lady?
There's not elves, but there's the fairies. Yeah. So I found them, and they're a trip too because they're just as humongous, ladies. Oh, they always do that and then disappear. I love it.
But I love that they're all different too.
Yeah,
like there are 4 in the game.
I found 2 so far.
They all look different, and they have a little bit of different personalities to them too, which is great.
Yeah, one was, I don't know if they're all tied to, I think they're all tied to rupees, right? Like you have to unlock them. I think the one in the desert was like 500 rupees, and she just puts her hand out. She's like, I'm not gonna fuck around until you give me those 500 rupees, and then otherwise, you don't see her, but then she pops out.
Oh, so you haven't had one of them like sexually assault you yet?
No, it looks like it's going. I don't know if I'd be mad at it because they're kind of weird and hot in a weird way, but yeah.
It's weird when it happens, and you're like, oh, well.
All right, no, I have not seen that yet. It does seem like Link has something going on with all of the key people in like each zone, like the Gerudo town, and you have the Zoras too. It's like he's hooked up with each of their champions.
I would say
in the
mainly
past or
just
something.
Zora.
Oh, okay. But even the Gerudo was like kind of seemed like into him. I was like, is the whole game going to be his exes that he's messed with? Okay.
No. I think the Gerudo people though. The other thing is like a part of their like culture is. No men allowed, but also at the same time, at some point you have to make like a pilgrimage and go out and find your man.
Yeah.
Which leaves into a really one of my favorite like organic storytelling moments in that game, which I won't say. But there's a really cool thing with that if you randomly stumble upon it.
Well, I guess we could say because
No, I'm good.
It's a year old. I mean, you
No,
want
I'm
me to experience it? Are you saying that?
I want to see if you hit it. I want to see if
Okay.
you get to the end of the game and don't even see it.
Well, I'll tell you one interactions I found, and maybe you've found it already.
Okay.
How about that? So I was in Gerudo, Burrito, and then I was in that town. And
Burrito?
and just walking around, and I stumbled upon this lady who was in her room, but with the door wide open, mind you. But she's like practicing a date with a dummy.
I never saw that.
Okay. So the audio is good, or rather the text that you read. But yeah, you'd find that randomly, at least at this one key area. But yeah, no, I love that town. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm digging it. I'm on board 100%. I'm going to buy the DLC for sure.
Did you get the, I forget what they're called, the sand seal to like tell your fortune and stuff?
No. I just thought they were dumb whales that, glide around. They're cool. They're cute.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
it's
realize
super fun to ride behind them.
Yeah, yeah. There's like this big, I don't know, sea demon thing or sand demon that you need to ride on one to go around to kill to get these guts from it. But yeah, no, I'm on board.
That was really tough. And you want those guts to upgrade your armor too.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm just starting to understand, modifying armor, improving armor.
Yeah.
I get sometimes grumpy with games where if I don't naturally see what it wants me to do, then I won't research it. I just want to find out what they want to tell me. But then there are times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on YouTube. And then sure enough, everything's there. But
I had to do that with that game because I didn't figure out how to upgrade for like 30 hours. And so I'm like, I have 3 weapons that are constantly broken. So when I beat that first boss, it was the water boss or whatever.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I was practically down to my fists by the time I took that thing out. I was so frustrated. And I just had to beat it with luck and like using arrows, like just using my most powerful stuff to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, once if you really upgrade your armor, and that's why I did 3 hearts for most of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know you can cook stuff and it improves the hearts. Like they
that
just
too.
add
I use that a lot too.
I just started doing
against bosses. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, you use that, and there are certain combos you can do. I found them kind of organically, but I looked it up and found a better one where you can basically fill up your whole thing with gold hearts, and that's super useful. But yeah, you get that armor. Did you figure out where to buy like the metal armor?
Not yet. Yeah. I have found some places that offer different. I think in that Gerudo town too, you can find like extra armor. Oh, there's like ancient armor too. I found that. I haven't bought it yet.
Oh, that stuff's.
It looked dope, but I'm not sure of it because you do have to get all these ancient cores and other stuff. So you have to fight those big spider guys. Yeah. But so I can tell it's gonna be tough. But I do want that armor, so I'm waiting to upgrade it before I get that armor that I want to upgrade.
I didn't even like that armor though because it was
really?
it's super expensive, and then you're fighting those ancient guys, and the only way to upgrade it, so you need certain parts to be able to upgrade.
Yeah.
So the only parts that you can really use to upgrade it are you get from defeating those guys. So it's kind of cool that the more you defeat, the stronger you get against them. But at the same time, I had my knight's armor so upgraded that it didn't really matter at that point.
Okay.
So my most economical advice would be get the knight's armor, upgrade it all the way, and then just have fun.
I haven't found knight's armor. I found bows every once in a while, but
I think you buy it at like a store or something.
Oh, okay.
I forget where, and it's not too terribly expensive.
Gotcha.
And yeah, just upgrade it. It's a lot of fun.
I have found there's one boss. It's the Gerudo boss where you really have to get used to. Is it parlaying or it's blocking and then sending that attack out towards them with your shield? It's key with those laser guys with the spider guys too, but
not if you're me.
Okay, well,
I didn't do that until the very end of the game.
I've been trying to get good at that because that helps out a lot. Or the dodging that lets you attack while they kind of reset. That's a big deal too. Yeah. But yeah, just that feeling of deflecting at the exact time that you need to. Yeah. It feels awesome. Like once you actually get that down. I'm still working on it, but like out of like 5 attempts, I'll get one of those correct.
It's better than me the entire game. I've mainly done like 4 the entire game successfully. Yeah.
See, I thought that was some kind of key thing, so I was like, okay, I need to practice that and get good at that. But yeah, I'm digging it. It only took me a year to come around, but yeah. So we'll go into some of the news stories. So this one I thought was interesting. So it was Left 4 Dead coming back, as far as in a new franchise. Yeah. So let me open this link here. So it's key people from the original team, I want to say. So they announced the way they announced it too is they're looking for talent for developers to join them. So they're just announcing that they're going to start working on it. So I mean, it might be another 4 years, but
still though.
Right.
Yeah, it probably will be another 4 years. But
so Turtle Rock, they announced it's Back 4 Blood is a spiritual successor to the original Left 4 Dead. But yeah, so the last thing they did was it was like a team-based Evolve.
Evolve, yeah.
Yeah. And I never tried it. It seemed interesting, but I know it was really team heavy. So if you don't have the right crew, then it's really didn't seem playable or not as fun.
I guess it was good right at launch. I watched this whole thing on it because I'm like, what happened to Evolve? I remember people loved it at launch and then started hating it. And then it kind of went away and then it went free to play.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I forget, I'd have to watch the whole thing on it again. But yeah, it came out good. And then like they just sort of destroyed it through like bad balance patches and bad monetization models.
I see.
And then eventually it went free to play and it was actually really good.
But by then it's like a little too late.
Yeah.
The community's moved on.
It was a little too late, which sucks.
That's a bummer. I'm stoked for this. It's gonna be a while, but yeah, I like that they're going back to that. Did you play much of the original too?
I did a bit. I think unfortunately it was sort of at a time where, not that the two communities were mutually exclusive because they definitely weren't. But I was playing more Killing Floor at the time, which is similar but different.
Gotcha.
And I just got really sucked into that, so I didn't play too much of this at the time. But yeah, it was really good. I was very impressed.
I think Killing Floor is it's similar, where there's a bunch of enemies. It's kind of like just they're dumping like zombie kind of characters on you. Okay.
Mutants.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha.
But
yeah, no, I dug it. I like that was kind of in the era where Valve was just like pumping out these really cool games.
They were, man.
Yeah.
They had some good stuff.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Now it's just rape simulators is all they do.
What?
There's something last week. It was with the with Steam, they've kind of changed their policy on the fact in the direction where they let everything go, and then they kind of will adjust from there on. So this rape simulator game went on the marketplace, and it wasn't until people like freaked out that they said, okay, well, we're going to remove this one because it's bad press. It was a bit strange. Yeah. So, but it's just, there used to be, they just really are kind of not falling out. I mean, they're super rich. What do they care? They're on top still. But you have stuff like, is it Origin or whatever Epic is using, all these different options now for games to drop on. So they really need to kind of step it up.
Yeah. And they even dumped their video service now. So, the most used.
Did they have a streaming thing or
not streaming? But you could buy movies on there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they just dropped it because who was using it?
Right, yeah. Okay, we kind of have in the past talked about No Man's Sky. They announced this expansion recently.
Yeah, possibly like they're. This is the thing, though. We know so little about it. This could either who knows whether this is going to be as big a deal as Next was, or even bigger.
Well, yeah,
less.
It's interesting.
Like, who knows? But making it a pseudo MMO is crazy.
That's pretty cool. I know when I first saw the article that they're going, online multiplayer, I'm like, well, that's what it was. Well, at least that's what the last setup was. So now it seems like they're going to really dig in and go deeper with those. Yeah, the internet's terrible today. But, so I think it was, like you said, just kind of an announcement that they're working towards that.
And that was what? They said that was one of 3 or 4 big announcements?
Yeah, I want to say 3. Yeah.
So that is... Good for them. I want to see their other game they're working on. I forget what it was.
Oh, yeah. What was it at was it Game Awards that they showed some of that off?
I think so, yeah.
Because we had watched it, yeah.
Yeah, that looks super cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's astounding how they've gotten all their goodwill back. Like, I thought there was no recovery for them whatsoever, and it's just...
I mean, they're showing the way for everyone. Hey, just kind of put out good content, and just keep working, and just that's the way you don't burn that community. You might burn them, but if you can show them that you're trying to get them back, they'll come back.
Yeah.
But so like you mentioned, there's MMO qualities to it. It's a shift to an MMO. So I pulled up. I want to give some more credit to some of these articles that I'm pulling up. So I'm pulling up GameSpot's article. This is Steve Watts. So I mean, he's picking up on the same things that we're talking about. But I mean, there's not a lot to show right now, but we'll see what happens with that. So, all right. But I'm definitely interested to see. I don't think they didn't charge for
any of them
for Next.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think they've charged for a single update.
Yeah. So is the plan are they at a point where now, okay, we can start charging, or is it just going to be free all the way?
That's honestly my biggest concern now for them is they're putting so much money into these developers to keep putting out these updates. That's really, really expensive when they could be working on another game and charging for it while they're working on that small one. That one's not going to make that much money. So I don't know. It makes me a little bit nervous for them. But
I wonder how much they got initially, because they kind of were branding with PlayStation when they were kind of promoting No Man's Sky, to where did they get enough of a cut from them for that they can now just work like they have been on just free content.
Right.
But eventually, they have to start charging for something.
And I know with the next update, they got a lot of people jumping into the game for the very first time, which I think is cool. But you also have to keep in mind how many people refunded the game when it initially released. And that's expensive, those chargebacks.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the whole refund aspect to it. Because, I mean, Steam has, they have restrictions in play, but, after 5 hours, I feel like you're playing it, you can kind of get, whether you like it or not, you're getting something out of that.
Yeah.
It's a whole other topic, but.
Well, that's a legal thing. People have to be able to do it in a lot of countries, so.
Okay, gotcha. So the next one pulling up, which is not loading as well, is, so we talked, I think it was last week about this.
Is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. So, Google's going to have their press conference to officially announce their game streaming service, whether it's a box, it's whatever. But that controller that was fake leaked last week. But tomorrow is the actual announcement. What do you think it would be as far as like an actual unit, or it's just a controller and it wirelessly links up to Chromecast or something like that?
Ooh, that'd be great.
Yeah. I feel like they're going for simplicity, and it's not a whole honking thing you have to set up.
I bet there'd be a small little Ouya style box or something like that. I don't know if the Chromecast can really handle that. I would love it if the Chromecast could handle that.
That'd be awesome.
I don't think you can, but yeah, I think a little box that you can set up all your Amazon Primes and your Netflixes and stuff, and still stream games on. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'd be down. And plus, I'm sure since it's Google, it's Google, it'll probably have support for a lot of phone games natively.
Yeah, all the Android stuff will just carry over, right? All that whole marketplace.
And if they can even have that controller work with your phone or your Android tablet too, that'd be fantastic.
That's true. Would the controller itself? I imagine they're launching a controller. Mm-hmm. If they are, would it have to have some kind of touchscreen ability, or would it just link to a phone? Is that cumbersome to have a controller, your phone going? Just to keep those games carrying over. I
think it'd be okay. I mean, you get that a little bit with the PlayStation controller, and oddly enough, did you ever use the Ouya controller?
No. It did look pretty cool. A lot of the mock-ups were merging that Google control with the Ouya too.
Yeah, it straight up had a weird, it doesn't look like there's a touch screen on it, but you touch the top and it'll move a little cursor around. And
the PS4 has that in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, but that looks like it should be a touch screen. This was just it's like a flat controller, and you touch it, and it's like, what?
Interesting.
Yeah, so I bet we get something that way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they're going to be offering with their last kind of beta test run. It was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. No,
right?
Was it Odyssey?
Yeah.
Which I played a little bit of. It was cool. So I think they're going to try and go for mainstream games. Like these big AAA games to day in day as they release, you'd be able to play those and stream those. So not just those smaller games.
Yeah. I think my biggest concern is there's some stat, something has to be 30% better than the competition for anyone to switch over. The number may be even higher than that, but it's what can they really do that is that much better? Now, if they had, here's the only thing I can really think of. If they had some sort of Switch competitor, that would be nuts. Especially with the advent of 5G starting to roll out now.
Yeah.
If you could do that, that'd honestly be a big deal.
That's true. I mean, they'd be the next likely competitor to Nintendo, but they already produce actual hardware anyways, mobile hardware. So it'd be it makes sense. But yeah, everyone seems to be leaving Nintendo alone with their leaving the whole market alone.
It's been a while since people have left Nintendo.
For
a while it was, let's just let them do their own thing. We're no longer competing with them. Now it's just all right, let's let them have that market.
Yeah, it's nuts. Okay, so the next thing, I think one of our previous stories, we kind of talked about them teasing, but they've officially at least, oh God, now I'm thinking, Gearbox officially teases Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
So for and this is for GDC too. So
oh really?
Yeah. So GDC just started today. Apparently it's 2 weeks. This is for March 28th. Is the actual what they're teasing? It's the font with the style of Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're gonna hear some kind of announcement very soon as far as Borderlands 3 goes. But
Randy Pitchford has remembered how to spell Borderlands.
Is there an issue where he didn't at some point?
No.
Okay.
He's had plenty of issues going on these last few years. I think that is probably the least of his worries.
That was the wrong one. I mean, that was mainly my article for Borderlands. The fact that something's coming soon. You know what? The character in Apex Legends reminds me of Borderlands. There's like a newer teased Apex character.
He looks exactly like
like so I found that weird.
I hope it's good. I mean, it doesn't help though with Apex Legends that especially in their cinematic trailers, it has like almost the exact same art style.
Gotcha.
But
yeah. Well, so this is actually not GDC, but this is Bethesda announcing their E3 plans. I don't know, it's just interesting to see what they're going to talk about because it seems like they don't really have a whole lot going on. I wouldn't mind them skipping, but Doom is the next big thing that's coming out from them. So that'd be cool to see.
My kind of concern is I don't think they've gone an E3 where 100% of their plans isn't leaked ahead of time. So we get to it and it's just like, yeah, it is.
That's a loud
train.
It's going to tell you what it thinks.
Yeah, no, we like that first E3 they did. We knew that it was going to be a Fallout with this, and this features. Like we knew it. We weren't sure. We were hoping for it, and then we got it. And then this last E3, we were like, let's hope that's not the new Fallout, and we got it. Like there were no surprises. We're gonna get more. What even do they have? So we'll definitely get Doom, which
Doom
will be
Eternal.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as maybe some kind of mobile stuff, they have been doing various mobile things.
You might be right.
I'm sure they'll spend some time. I think they'll spend some time just reiterating what they have with Fallout 76 as far as the new free content coming out, because that's like a whole year of content. They might go into more detail, show footage of that. Then I guess, will they kind of tease more those two other new projects, the next Elder Scrolls and the Star game? I forget what it's called.
Starfield?
Starfield.
I don't think they have anything to show.
Right. They show, we got these fonts we're thinking of, or like there's like a napkin that somebody wrote character art, and they're like, this might be in there. Like, what else do they have at this point?
There would have been a leak by now. Well, no, I guess it is in July. There'll be a leak at least a month before it happens. Like, we'll know what they're going to show before they show it.
Gotcha.
I don't think Starfield's getting shown. I don't think the new Elder Scrolls is getting shown. It's going to be...
It seems like it's weird to have a...
Train.
Right.
Well, when's Rage come out? Is that before
Ooh,
E3?
that will be before. Yeah.
Probably some DLC for that.
You know what? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is before.
I don't know if there's anything in the pipeline going for Dishonored. Actually, aren't
May
the Dishonored
14th,
people working on May 14th? Dang. Aren't they working on a new game? Like,
maybe.
That's not Dishonored?
Maybe. Well, wasn't Prey from some of the Dishonored guys?
I want to say yes. I'm pretty sure.
I cannot spell. Okay, so we're going to figure this out right
That's
now.
a good catch, I think. If that is true,
So Arcane, I feel like Arcane does Prey as well, or did the remake of it. I'm going to just look at Arcane Studios. I actually dug Dishonored a lot, so it was kind of a bummer that it just kind of lost, enthusiasm. But yeah, so they did Prey. Dishonored, that's a DLC, Death of the Outsider for 2017.
Yeah.
And that's it. I know last year they kind of showed off a new mode in Prey that was more of a change on what was there, right?
Oh yeah, the pseudo roguelite.
Apparently, yeah. And I didn't try.
But there was a way of definitively you had to beat it in the correct order with the correct characters.
Oh, okay.
So only one character could use each escape mechanism. So to get all of them to escape, you had to do it in the right order and have each of them use the correct tools. It was super clever. I've never seen quite anything like that, at least not since back in the day with Flash games.
Oh, okay.
But that was really cool, and the fact that it was randomized a little bit each run made it that much more tense.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was the last announcement, 2017. So they could potentially at least tease their next project there.
BioShock 2. Oh, that was them. That's why that game played so good.
Interesting. So is that when they were with 2K at that point, or?
I would assume so.
I'm not sure on the details.
They made World at War?
Yeah.
Damn.
Additional work.
World at War was great.
Yeah, I don't think it gets enough attention for what it was. It was actually pretty dope.
No.
Yeah, maybe a remake of that at some point from Activision, but
that'd be dope.
So yeah, that's kind of down the line with Bethesda, but they just kind of are revealing what they're going to talk about. We're talking about Borderlands 3. So there's a Nintendo showcase Wednesday. It's just their Nindies or Indie showcase, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that a little bit. But yeah, because so it's a half hour long, and they really kind of speed through announcements. So a half hour is quite a long time to cover a lot of stuff. Yeah, which is awesome. But so yeah, like in the past, so I brought up this article from Jordan Devore of Destructoid, and so they're kind of just highlighting some of the past announcements, like Hyper Light Drifter, Towerfall, Untitled Goose Game. I have not seen, but I'll have to check that out. But so yeah, I'm just excited for that. I'm really
Samurai Gun 2.
Yeah, apparently that's already been announced.
Oh, awesome! You ever played Samurai Gun?
No, I never heard of it.
That's fun.
That looks really cool.
It plays so great. I think it'd be better. It's definitely fun 2-player, but I think it's definitely best at 4-player because you really can't keep track of everyone.
Oh, okay.
And the level design is great. Very simple, but very good. And the gameplay is really simple, and the animations everything's very clear. I imagine definitely with like if there were a way to look back through, like I know the last Nintendo Indie Showcase, there was a lot of stuff that people knew about, but it was kind of tucked in the back of their mind, so you kind of forget that it was.
Oh, and that's the time to really bring all that stuff up forward, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll probably get more of that. Hyper Light Drifter, though, that's an interesting point since they announced the Heart Machine or whatever, announced a new game.
Oh, okay.
So I bet that gets announced for that.
Gotcha.
Here's my wild and crazy thing I think is going to get announced. Shoot, what's that game? Risk of Rain 2.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead on a limb, say Risk of Rain 2 Nintendo Switch. Because it's Risk of Rain, but in 3D instead of a 2D platform. And now it's going to be 3D, and it looks like they're going to keep still the crazy enemy counts and the platforming. Like, it's just in 3D now, so...
Yeah, I haven't seen this before.
That's my wild and crazy guess.
Gotcha.
Did you ever play the first Risk of Rain?
Nope. It's up there with the Goose Game that we also talked about. It looks cool. So we're looking at footage of it right now. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Oh, wow. This is way better looking than last time I saw it. Holy
So this is a
cow.
teaser from 2018. So I'm not sure, what they've changed since the last time you saw it. But
whoa. This is like, it looked... like a 3-month-old prototype when I first saw it. This actually looks like a video game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it multiplayer?
The last one was. I assume this one will be.
Okay. It looks like you have a team going.
Yeah. Okay. But even with more people, it was still hard. Well, in some ways, it was kind of harder. I want to say I never did play it multiplayer, but I want to say. Like not everyone could grab every item, so it wasn't instance. You had to sort of figure out who was.
Is it based on your
what.
Type or something? Whatever you're playing as. Or?
Sort of, yeah. There were different characters you could play.
Gotcha.
And the trailer for Spelunky.
It's just auto playing, but
I'm gonna play that game so hard.
I never got into Spelunky, but it did seemed interesting. But
it's so good. It was so good.
As far as the news stories, that really ends it. A lot of stuff dropped today, actually. So,
dropped today.
Yeah, as far as just like some news stories, but that's we covered already. But yeah, so GDC has started today officially or tomorrow.
Not a lot of announcements come out of that though. That's not really what it's for. It's
right.
Developer. I feel like there's more than that. I feel like there were a couple of articles that I was gonna
go for it.
Discuss with you. Oh, Generation Zero. A lot of people checking out.
That is that robot like searching or fighting game. That looks pretty cool.
Honestly, what it kind of reminds me of is there was this professor out in Chicago that was working on something similar, oddly, because his buddies wanted to make like this dream game of Red Dawn.
Nice, but with robots.
Well, not with robots. It was just like it's going to be Red Dawn, so it's going to be, the Russians have invaded, and you have to, this plucky group of teenagers, and you're doing all this stuff. And this looks like it looks almost exactly like that prototype, but better. And with big badass robots instead of Russians, and I'm like, all right, this looks great. With a twist of what country is it on?
Like, does it take place in? It looks like a Russia, like a Soviet, whatever.
It's like Sweden or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
That.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, and I know the developer said it was going to be. Oh, it is Sweden. Yeah, they said it's going to be distinctly Swedish, so it may confuse people, but they're like, we don't care. We're making this game. We'll self-publish if we have to.
So you know what? This is from. If I'm reading this correctly, so this is from pushsquare.com. Yeah, so it's from Avalanche. So we were just talking about them.
Oh, awesome.
Or if they're working partly on it, but yeah, and it comes out next week, March 26th. Yeah, so the title was the art of the article too is, Generation Zero is out on PS4 next week. There's been almost no advertising for this, but I do remember seeing it and just kind of forgetting about it.
Wow.
But that's dope. I'm excited for that.
I think the other thing about this that looks interesting to me is this kind of looks in a certain amount of ways what I kind of wanted Fallout 76 to be, just from the perspective of how difficulty is going to work. Like, you have to scrap all your weapons, and they said it will not scale difficulty depending on how many people you have with you. So when you're running solo, there are just going to be areas where you shouldn't go.
I see.
You need to come back with friends when you're all geared up, and
that's
awesome.
Yep.
Let me do that.
Yeah, so we have that next week. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Any other articles that you wanted to pull up?
Let's see. There was that.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving the Division. Let's see. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they keep kind of revealing characters in Mortal Kombat, but I haven't included any of those as a story. But I'm totally on board with Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I'm terrible at it, but I'm 100% on board.
Let's see here.
And they've gotten really nuts with the fatalities, but I love it.
I feel like they somehow figured out a way via animation to disgust people again. Because we were really
100%.
The last Mortal Kombat or the one before that, were all really disgusted again, and then we sort of got used to it.
Yep.
Something about it, yeah. I mean,
but I think they've created this lane where NetherRealm, where it's like they know what they are, and everyone accepts that, so they let them be as super weird and gross as they want to be because it's this beloved franchise. But it might be harder for someone else to do that. But everyone understands this is for fun, especially with that whole series. But yeah,
right, yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you almost got like a little bit of that violence with the new like Doom. What was it?
See, that's the next thing. Yeah,
but that was Doom's sort of style. It just didn't continue evolving along those lines like Mortal Kombat did.
Right. But I would say that just like Doom, these entries know what they are, and they just go full force into it, and it makes it even more awesome because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think if there is another example. I feel like there is.
If not, I have some names. I feel like we probably shouldn't leave here until we do have at least an idea of what we can name this thing, because then I can start, telling my grandma about it. But yeah, so some of these, are just ideas. I'll go down the line again. So we have flashing lights and sound. Maybe too many syllables, too many characters.
Yeah.
There's an idea. Game show, I thought was maybe, I was thinking of like simple names that might not be taken because they're so simple. Right. I highly doubt that one is one of them.
Gotcha.
I talked about Electric Company as I just thought that would be funny, but I have no idea if that's already taken. Default character.
I like that one. Put a star next to that.
Let's put a little star. Boop.
Go ahead and put a star next to the next one too.
Latest patch.
Yeah, I like that one. Oop.
You would have to grow a soul patch for that one. Are you prepared to do that? I just think it would also be.
I'm definitely not.
Did you have one at one point? I feel like you had something going on.
Yeah, I had something at some point. Try it out.
Some fuzz. Try it out. Thumbs down.
I feel like there's a modification to thumbs down that would work. I'm not sure how I'd
thumbs
change
in, thumbs out.
Sore thumbs down. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's maybe a thumbs down can be turned into something.
Yeah.
Beat boop. That's another one. Under control, lose control. Those are kind of ideas of the word control in there. The dad mode. I mean, if we had kids, that would be it. I feel like that. But I'm pretty sure that's
just so we can do that.
Yeah. There was one on here that was taken that I love the idea of, but Hard Life. So some of these, as I'm throughout my day, I'm just like thinking then I update it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I get a little weird. Snack Boys, Digital Seance. Where we drop in what you talked about. Yeah. If we were only covering Battle Royale or something. Video game homework. We kind of talked about that ideas.
The poop
idea.
guys.
So yeah, my nephew who's 8 was like, "Oh, you should," because I was kind of telling him like, "Hey, we're doing this thing. Oh, we should call it Poop Guys." And then he just kind of moved on to the next idea in his head. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, good idea." Play yourself. I don't know.
Yourself.
Yeah. So some DJ Khaled stuff.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah, or like just playing a game, playing yourself, maybe a weird tie to that. But yeah, Hot Mess. Just another, like, as I'm going throughout my day thinking of weird things.
Put a question mark next to that. I feel like there's a modification that could work with that. Like, there's got to be some sort of gaming thing that...
Well, see, I also like the idea of the name not necessarily having a game equivalent or, like, tying to games, but also I still like the idea of it having some kind of game, idea in the name. Right. But, yeah, I'm not opposed to something that doesn't even tie to games at all.
Yeah.
Speedrun, just kind of thinking of terms here. I don't remember this one. Cool Gamios or Cool Gamos. Oh, there's another loud train. Stellar Games.
Stellar Games sounds like a company that makes games.
Let's just kind of pretend that we do make games. Okay, yeah, another train passing by. Maybe Train Time.
Train Time?
Yeah, Train Fun. So then I was just thinking of, like, what about just our names? Fonzie Gavin, Gavin Fonzie. Die Trying is just a mantra to, an actual video game. Playing over and over again, dying.
Right.
Hate the player. I was thinking of the, don't hate the player, hate the game, that phrase, but not really hating on games. Just, a lot of in this whole gaming world, a lot of the toxicity is just people being assholes, but players being assholes.
Yeah.
Light gray plastic. So I woke up the other day thinking of, like, the fact that a lot of the games that we played as kids, it ends up being on a piece of plastic, usually a gray piece of plastic, whether it's like the keyboard and mouse, a CRT monitor, PlayStation 1, NES. So I feel like there's something there with plastic or with just tying to that. You got to let it rip. Yep. Plastic Hearts. I don't remember.
Like that one.
Yeah. I think I was still tying to the plastic thing. I love, of the plastic. Break plastic. I thought like breaking bread, breaking plastic. I guess you could be like raging and breaking a controller, but and then I think it was break plastic together or just break plastic. But so just kind of shot these off at you. Some of these catch your eye, right? Like the thumbs down.
Well, something about thumbs down. I feel like thumbs down can be modified.
Default
I do
character.
Like Plastic Hearts. I think Plastic Hearts is cute. In my head, like I'm picturing, like, you remember last week when we were talking about that new Xbox controller or whatever? Like, I'm picturing like a plastic or like a heart covered in that, like,
that gradient
plastic. Yeah, kind of like an old Game Boy or something.
Oh, that's pretty. Yep, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. We have Hot Mess was another one you liked. I think Where We Drop In just has a question mark because
because it was a question.
Yeah. Default character, you liked that one.
Yeah.
I think I added that. Yeah.
I feel like latest patch would be taken already.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just gonna Google latest patch podcast. Some of these I did check on, or some of the ideas I had. Series the patch podcast.
Yeah, it might be confusing.
Yeah.
Plastic Hearts, though. I like that one.
I like that one a lot, too.
It's got a really nice imagery to it.
And you can play with it, just like you mentioned that idea. You could, you can just, as far as like logos or just like an image that we put on something.
Yeah.
When we upload it, that could be, we could use something like that.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of covers, because we'll talk about PC game, we'll talk about console. So something kind of encompasses all of that.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
But, those are some of the ones. Anything that you're thinking of, like, that you want to try to tie into more, or you really want to keep, like, more just gaming influence in the name?
I mean, that one's... I don't know. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be... I think it's nice to have some sort of, at the end of the day, like nerd culture reference or something like that. But it doesn't have to be, exclusively. I don't know. It's the end of the day, it's sort of your show.
I want to name it something that you're cool with, and not like Fonzie time with Fonzie.
Fonzie time with Fonzie.
Yeah. And just not include you at all. But yeah. So it doesn't have to be today for sure, but at least we got it kind of honed in on to some kind of name.
Yeah,
and then
it's a lot closer.
Yeah. Because right now it goes on YouTube, but it doesn't go to anybody. It's just there because I don't have a thing to. But once we do get something down, then I can start just like sharing that, or start building that page, create some cover art for it and whatnot. Right. But or just a bunch of random numbers we can call it. That'd be really cool. But okay. So I mean, we talked about some news. We talked about name ideas, what we're playing. So I guess we can kind of end it for this week. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's it. You can find me at Fonzie Pants with a Z on Twitter. And Gavin, where can they find you?
You can find me on Drunk Devs on Twitter.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you. We'll see you. Bye-bye.